Hello guys, welcome to this YouTube video. In this tutorial I'll show you how to create a free WordPress website for restaurants, step by step. Now this is the website that we are going to create. It has a simple yet effective structure, but I will also show you how to completely start from scratch, like registering a domain name and hosting. Building this website will be completely free. The only costs involved are for hosting, just like any other website. After this tutorial, you've created a beautiful looking website and you know exactly how to change settings or edit the layout according to your restaurant style. For instance, where to create a logo, change text or change buttons on size, color and shape. I will also show you how to install the Make a Reservation functionality, include contact forms, and where to create an info email if you would like one. Now if you want to skip certain topics or rewatch parts of this video, in the description down below you will find timestamps and links to external sources for downloads and discounts. Note, some are affiliate links, which means I receive a commission based on each redirect. Don't worry, it won't charge you more. In fact, it helps me create these kind of tutorials. Now when you have finished building your website, do not forget to leave the URL link to your website down in the comment sections below. I really want to see the end result. Let me give you an overview of what we are going to cover in this video. First off, we are going to register a domain name and web hosting at Siteground. Secondly, install WordPress SSL Certificate and email account. Thirdly, I will guide you through the basics in WordPress and change some settings. Fourthly, install the Astra theme, starter templates and Elementor Page Builder. Fifthly, installation and explanation of the booking calendar plugin for making reservations. At last, create and edit a WordPress website. Now if you already registered a domain name and web hosting, you can skip to the first part of this video. If not, let me tell you more about what a domain name and web hosting are. Now if you already registered a domain name and web hosting, you can skip to the first part of this video. If not, let me explain what a domain name and web hosting are. For example, let's go to apple.com. What you see here is the domain name apple.com, and over here you can see the website. The domain name is actually the address of the website. If apple.com doesn't have a domain name, then it would look like this, but that's too difficult for people to remember and search for. Therefore we use the domain name. This domain name is linked to all content of this website. Now web hosting is a very fast 24/7 working computer that saves all of your website's files. Basically, you need both if you want to engage on the internet. Now to make it simple, Siteground provides everything in one plan. Domain registration, hosting, creating email accounts and SSL certificate for website security. According to many Facebook groups and review sites, they rank number 1 and it's the fastest web hosting out there. It has many advantages. First off, Siteground has data centers in the USA, Europe and Asia Pacific, fast loading servers and free Cloudflare account which enables CDN for your website. Basically, this improves your site and page speed, which is beneficial for web traffic and ranking in Google. Secondly, each service is designed for WordPress users, as well as the quality support that Siteground offers. For instance, you can use the live chat, phone them or create tickets 24/7. So if you have problems with your site, you can directly contact them. Fourthly, Siteground executes daily backups for your website. So if something happens or changes to your site, you can easily reset it back to normal. At last, Siteground is absolutely affordable and offers a 30-day trial. Now if you want a 60% discount offer, go to dailison.com/Siteground. Now go to WordPress hosting and click on Get Started. Scroll down until you clearly see the web hosting plans. You can choose between 3 options, the Startup, Grow Big or Go Geek plan. The Startup plan is fine if you are determined to only make one website. You will get, for instance, a free SSL certificate. You can create an info email, but also make daily backups. The 10 GB is more than enough for one WordPress website. Now if you are dissatisfied or don't want to continue with Siteground, you will have 1 month to cancel your subscription to get a refund. If you want to upgrade from Startup to Grow Big, that is also possible. But I guess you only want to make just one website. So let's select the Startup plan, shall we? Alright, now we can choose a domain name. If you don't want to register a new domain, you can choose an existing one. Over here you can choose the domain extension. I would always choose a .com or a local extension like .nl for the Netherlands. For an international focused website you can also pick .net or .org. Let's proceed. Now we have to fill in some client and account information. Here at client information you can fill in the VAT or VAT. The taxes are then deducted from the total expenses. The payment information is self-explanatory. And over here you can see purchase information. The starter plan is selected as you can see, but when clicking on this icon you can still change it to a different one. Pick the data center that's closest to your hometown, and here you can select the membership period. Now this is important to know. The 60% discount is deducted for the upcoming 12 months. However, after that you pay the regular price of $9.95. When you directly pick 24 or even 36 months, the 60% remains for the complete period of time. You can see this in the price calculation. When you select 12 months, you can also renew your hosting plan at the end, but then you will get a discount of only 30%. So it's up to you. The price will be lower when you pick 24 or 36 months, but you have to pay upfront, not per month. Now for extra services, the domain registration is already marked, and the SG site scanner you don't need, because we can download free plugins for that. However, consider domain privacy. By doing so, your email account and client information remains protected. Then confirm and agree to Siteground's terms of service and privacy policy. And if you would like, you can also receive special offers by email. I personally do not want those. And then click Pay Now. Now you will most likely be transferred to the payment gateway you choose and finish the transaction. Now it says, thank you for purchasing Siteground hosting services. If you order the local domain name, for example .nl, it can take some time, sometimes even 60 minutes for them to process the order, but a .com domain should be live immediately. Alright, now we've registered the domain name and hosting. Let's go back to my Siteground and click on Setup Website. In this video I will create a temporary domain, but you will see the screen immediately. Click on Select under Start a new website and select WordPress. Over here you can create the email address, but also the login details for your website. Fill these boxes and click on Continue. You can ignore the extra services. We don't need the site scanner, because there are other free plugins to download. Click on Finish and your site is being created. It can take some time, however you don't have to wait. Go to Websites next to Home in the menu and select the WordPress kit. And then enter the WordPress admin. Now you have to log in with your newly created email account. You can see the WordPress starter over here, but we do not need to use this tool. So scroll down and click on Exit. Now you've completely finished installing WordPress. The first thing that I notice is that the website is not secure. So we need to go back to my Siteground to install a so-called SSL Certificate, which basically is a secure connection from a web server to a browser. Now we click on Websites, Site Tools, Security and SSL Manager. In this box you select your domain name and then choose Let's Encrypt. Click on this button. Now the request is being processed. This can take some time. Once it's installed, click on the 3-point icon and force HTTPS and enable HTTPS enforce. Okay, now we are done installing WordPress SSL certificate and the email account. To continue, let's hop back to the WordPress dashboard. Now you can see this little locker icon, which means your website is now secured. And let me tell you more about WordPress. WordPress is the most popular and in my opinion best content management system on the market. It's a management system to run a website, web shop or blog. It enables you to focus on the creative part of building an online platform, instead of working with HTML and CSS. Alright, now what you see here is called the backend, and the front end is what's visible online on the internet. Let's check out what our website currently looks like. Hover over to my WordPress and click on Visit Site. In default settings, this is what WordPress looks like. Not very fancy to be honest, but we are going to change that. Let's go back to the backend so I can give you a short summary of the WordPress dashboard. Because over here you can change the look and feel on the front end. Now let's start off with the update section. Over here you can see if plugins or themes have to be updated. It's important to regularly execute the updates to keep your website up to date and of course secure. Now when you go over here at posts, you see the option to create new blog posts. Same goes for creating a new page over here. At pages you can create for instance a home page, a menu page or for example a contact page. In the media you upload images or videos. In the comment section you will receive incoming reactions from visitors that you can either decline or accept to be visible on the website. You can also keep them private depending on the settings you install. Over here at Appearance, you decide your site's overall layout and style. Currently it doesn't look good, but within just several clicks that will change. I'll show you in a bit. At Plugins, you can add additional functions and features to your site. This will often become visible in the overview on the left side. As for users, we can delete or add users to this website. Over here you can use some tools, and at settings you can change some basics such as the overall language of the website. Let me show you how that's done. Hover over to Settings, General. I would choose Dutch, but to keep it understandable for this video, I will keep it on English. Remember, after each change you have to click Save Changes to permanently change it. Alright, now one of the first things I would recommend doing is cleaning up your website. Let's deactivate and delete pre-installed plugins. Let's go to Plugins, and you can see the WordPress Starter and SG Optimizer. We don't need these, so we click here and then select Deactivate, Apply. An important note in between, always deactivate plugins before you delete them. Many plugins add their own files to the main ones of your website, and if you don't deactivate these, the plugin files will remain and could cause issues later on. Alright, let's finish where we started by clicking on Actions again. Then delete and apply, and click on OK. Now go back to the dashboard. I noticed a pre-installed page. Go to all pages and do exactly the same as we just did for plugins. Don't forget to empty the trash. Now go to Posts and repeat the same procedure. In the right upper corner it says Howdy and then your email address. Let's change that. Go to Users, your profile. Now scroll down and fill in your first and last name in these white boxes. Change the display name to your name if you want to display it properly on your site. If you want, you can also change your profile picture with Gravatar. Okay, let's click on Update Profile down below so we can continue. Now let's clean up the dashboard. You can either click on these triangle icons to close them, but you can also go to Screen Options and disable everything. A messy dashboard promotes distraction and contributes to the feeling of being overwhelmed. Now hover over to Settings, General. In this box you can change your site title. Now you can type, for instance, only Restaurant X. However, for ranking purposes you'd better fill in the keywords you want to be found on in the Google search engines. So let's say Restaurant X, lunch, fine dining, Amsterdam. And for the tagline make something up like Restaurant X is located in the beautiful center of Amsterdam and only works with local products and seasonal menus. I just made that up, but you get the idea. Change the WordPress and site URL from HTTP to HTTPS. And check if your time zone is correct. That can be useful if you want to schedule news articles or blog posts on a certain date and time. Click on Save Changes down below and now you most likely need to log back in. Okay, now we have to change the permalink structure. Now this part is really important because a bad permalink structure, for example what you see on the screen right now, can affect your rankings in the search results. Therefore, I highly recommend selecting post name to get a clear and clean permalink structure for every page and post you create. And of course, click on Save Changes down here. Okay, that's it for the explanation of the basic settings in WordPress. Let's start with the next one. So we want to change the complete look and feel of our website. Therefore, we have to install a theme. In this case, the free Astra theme. Now visit datasin.com/Astra. Over here you can see the paid versions, but the one we are going to use will be completely free. So let's scroll down below until you can see the link where it says download free Astra theme. You can leave your name and email so that Astra can give you updates about new features or content to be learned. I find some of these emails interesting and relevant, so I click on subscribe and download. But you can also say, no thanks, I just want to download Astra. Now go back to the dashboard, hover over to Appearance and click on Themes. Over here you can see which theme is currently installed. At this moment we are using the 2020 theme. Let us see one more time how it looks. Very basic, right? Okay, so go back and click on Add New, Upload Theme and drag the zip file over here. or click on Choose File. Select Install Now and activate the theme. Let's see the front end right now. It's still very basic as you can see, but the advantages of using the Astra theme is that it creates a lot of flexibility to be creative, especially for a free theme. It works seamlessly with a great page builder called Elementor. It makes editing your website easier and better, especially when you install one of Astra's ready-to-use starter site templates plugin. Let's install this plugin. So we go to Plugins and click on Add New. Over here you can search for Astra starter sites. Now it should pop up immediately. Then click on Install Now and activate. And click over here on View Library. And Astra will ask you to select the page builder. I would recommend choosing the Elementor Page Builder. And here you will find all the starter templates. Now let's search for the term restaurant. Two have an agency sign, which means it is a premium version. The other ones are free. Now I want to pick the fresco templates and check out the preview. Well, in my opinion, it looks professional. All the pages like home, menu, about us and contact pages are pre-built. So let's import this complete site. Now wait a few minutes at a max and then click on View Site. Now check out what our new website looks like. Quite a difference, right? Once you imported a complete site, several plugins will also be automatically installed, such as the Elementor Page Builder and WP Forms Lite. Last mentioned is to make contact forms, but I will show you more about that in a second. But first I will show you how to use the customizer so that we can change, for example, the logo over here. But let's not forget, we installed the Elementor Page Builder, Astra theme and starter templates. Now let's continue. Click on Customize so that the pencil appears. Once you click it, it will take you to the site logo section. Here you can change it. Click on it and upload the file. Make sure to choose the right image dimensions, so 180 by 60 pixels. Now if you don't have a logo yet, let a specialist create one on Fiverr. Visit datason.com/Fiverr and it redirects you to the top logo designers on Fiverr. These designers create beautiful and cheap logos within just several days and sometimes even within just one day. If you don't want to spend anything, you can also create a logo at canva.com. Click on Make Your Own Designs, then Customize Dimensions and fill in the logo sizes from WordPress, so 180 by 60. Select Create Design and from here you can play with preset shapes, designs and images. You can take this one for example, brunch. Looks pretty nice though. Now for this video I'll keep the default logo made by Astra. Alright, let's continue where we left. Over here you can upload a retina logo to make your logo look clear and sharp on high density screens. You can also change the logo width by dragging this to the right or left. I think this looks fine. In this section you can upload a site icon, also called a favicon. This will change the little visual before your site title in the tab section. I can show you. Click on Select Site Icon and let's choose something basic for now and select the lasagna visual. Fill in the alt text and title. Click on Select, Crop Image and Publish. Click the refresh button and as you can see we got a new favicon and the site's logo is adjusted. Okay, that's done. You can also change the overall font and font size. In my opinion it looks fine like this, but I want to show you how to change these settings. So open the customizer, go to where it says Global, select Typography, Base Typography. In this section you can change the font and font size. You can also change the complete site's typography and choose a font that reflects the style of your restaurant. Let's choose a Rametto one for example. You see, the menu and text is changed. You can also change the size over here or adjust the thickness, but keep in mind that these changes take place on the entire website. In this case I'm fine with the default settings, so I will change it back. Now let's click Publish and leave it like this so we can continue to the next part. Next we go back and click on colors here in base colors. Let me give you a preview of what happens if you change these options. You can change the overall text color. You see? But I prefer to keep it black, to keep the text readable. Now to change the headers, you have to go over here at heading color. Or you see this? The link color changes when you hover over it with your mouse. Currently it's orange, but we can make it purple as well. I prefer to keep this in default. Now let's go back by clicking 3 times on the arrow. Select header to make different changes, such as making a transparent header over here, or making changes to the primary header and menu. In the primary header, you can completely change the site's layout. For instance, you can put the logo and menu section in the middle. It actually looks pretty nice like that. However, I prefer the traditional way. So the logo on the left and the menu on the right. Okay, next I want to change the menu section. For example, how to remove or add new pages. I'm going to open an additional tab to show you. In the first tab I go back by clicking on the cross. Hover over here and click on menus. If you want to remove a page, let's say the About Us page, you can click on this triangle icon, click on remove and then save menu. This won't remove the actual page, but only the visibility on the website. Let's check out the front end. Refresh. You see it? Now I want the About Us page back. So I click over here and select Add to Menu. Drag it over here and then save the menu. Check the front end. Refresh. And now it is visible again. You see? Now let's say you want to create a special vegan menu and put it in the menu section. In order to do so, we have to create a new page. Hover over to Pages and click on Add New. As for the title, we fill in Vegan menu and click on Publish and again on Publish. Now go back to the dashboard. Hover over to Appearance and Menus. And in the most recent section, you need to enable the vegan menu page and add the page to the menu. You can drag it, for example, underneath the menu and click on Save Changes. Let's check out the front end. Refresh it and look, you've added a new page to the menu section. Okay, next up is checking the contact page. Once you click on it, you have to scroll down to see it. Although it is preset, we still have to change some settings by using the WP Forms plugin. So go back to the WordPress dashboard and click on WP Forms. Now what you see here is the contact form ID. You can use this shortcode and paste it into a page to make the contact form pop up. Let me go back and quickly show you. Click on Edit with Elementor. And over here you can find the component. Once you click on it, you can see that the code has been added in the box on the left side. If you remove the code, the form will automatically disappear. Okay, now you know that, let's go back to the dashboard so I can show you how to edit a contact form. Hover over to WP Forms and select the pre-built form. Here you can see that everything is already set up. But if you still want to change the contact form, you can easily edit or remove parts. For example, change your name to full name or include other fields such as the multiple choice option. Now go to the Settings tab and click on Notifications. Don't skip this part because contact forms are sent to this email address. Change it to your restaurant's info@email and click on Save. Alright, now let's get into installing the Booking Calendar plugin. It's one of the only free booking plugins that work properly. So let's go ahead and get started over here at Plugins. Click on Add New and search for Booking Calendar. And there it is. Well, as you can see, it has around 5 stars, 60,000 active installations, and it is compatible with our WordPress version. So let's click on Install Now and activate the plugin. First we have to create a new Make a Reservation page so that people can book a table. Go to Pages add new, and we name the page Reservation and click on Publish. Again, Publish. After that, you click on Edit with Elementor. Let's create a new section by clicking on the plus icon and create a 2-column structure. Then we go to Elements to include a heading, which we drag over here. Let's write down Reservation. After that, make an H1 HTML tag and center it by clicking on this icon. Next thing I want to do is drag another heading and type, for example, "We look forward to welcoming you." The font size is too big in my opinion. Let's go to Style, Typography and change the size to, let's say, 30. Looks better. And then we need to center it. Next I want to drag an image element so that we can upload some content about our restaurant. Click on it and check in the media library which one you would like to pick. We just need an example, so let's pick this one. Fill in the title and alt text and click on Insert Media. Now on the right side we drag another heading and name it Book a Table. I want to center this one as well and change the size to 30. We also need to drag a shortcode element. Click on the elements icon, search for shortcode and drag and drop it over here. The shortcode is just booking between brackets. So we add this code over here. Then click on Publish, refresh the page so we can have a quick look. I want to center the shortcode element a bit more. So I go over here, unlink the values and change the left padding to, let's say, 200. Okay, so as you can see, you need to play a bit with these settings. But I think this looks fine. After that, click on Publish. We can actually already see the booking calendar. However, we haven't configured it yet. So we have to go through the settings or else it will not work properly. Now go back by clicking on the 3 stripes icon in the left upper corner and click on Exit to the dashboard. Then hover over to Booking and we start at Bookings. So what you see here is that they put a test appointment here called Joni. We can delete this because it does not apply to us. We will test it later on, but let me first go through the settings. Okay, in the general tabs you can change some settings, but I prefer the default settings for calendar skin, number of months to scroll and start day of the week. Over here you need to select single day, because people are usually booking for just one day. Okay, let's continue to the next important part of the calendar, namely the availability. Here you can select which days your restaurant is open to the public. Let's select them all except for Sundays. Next we go to the form section. For now, we leave the CAPTCHA autofill field and use of CSS Bootstrap in default settings. Now over here you can customize the thank you message. Let's write, "Thank you for your online reservation. We will send you a confirmation as soon as possible." Something like this is fine. This message will be shown for 7 seconds and then it turns back to the normal booking calendar. Now for the booking admin, I leave everything like in default settings, but you can customize this according to your needs. Next we scroll down until we see the calendar overview timeline. I'll leave it on 3 months to book up front in our calendar. Over here at advanced it says, allow unlimited bookings per same day. Keep this one disabled, just like the use pending days as available. However, I would recommend enabling the checking the prevent double booking during submitting booking. What this will do is prevent double bookings. A pop-up will appear and you can click on OK. Down here you can see some advanced options. Let's check underneath the show settings of powered by notice, because we want to disable this one. Let me show you. It's this message. If we disable it, the powered by notice message disappears from our calendar. You see? Now let's go back to the general settings and check out the form tab. In my opinion, we can save some space by only including one box for the names. So we can delete the last name and change the first name to full name. Number of visitors we can change to guests and enable it. We also need to look at the daily time slots. So over here at Add New Field, you can select time slots. And then I want to reset times by 1 hour. That breaks the time slots up from 6 AM to eventually 8 PM at night. Now let's say you want to have a lunch break. We can delete one out so that it doesn't appear in the calendar. Okay, now you can click on Add New Field. By doing so, you add the time slots to your calendar. And what you do next is drag it to the top because it belongs to the most important information. And we also need to make sure that all fields are required, except for the details. And then click on Save Changes. So when we come back to the website and click on Refresh, we can see that the calendar changes and is updated. Let's check if the changes that we made in the settings are implemented. And once you click on this arrow, you can see how many months your guests can book up front. You can also notice that on Sundays it's not possible to book a table. I can't click on it, so that works as well. So when we click on one of the available days and go to time slots, you can pick each time slot except for the lunch break. You see? So that's good as well. You can also see that all contact information is required. Now I want to do a quick test. So we fill in our contact information. For details we can put I'm allergic to peanuts and click on send. Now a thank you message should pop up. Yep, there it is. And it should fade out. So when you click on the same day, you can actually see that one time slot is not available anymore. So this is a pending time now. If we go back to the dashboard, hover over to bookings and click on bookings, we can see that there is a new reservation. You see? There are two ways of viewing this. You can click on the calendar overview or booking listing. If you click on the booking listing, it shows the actual listing itself. So you can check the complete client information and, for example, add to the Google Calendar. Now if we go back to the calendar overview, you can see it is still pending, so it needs to be approved. And by clicking on this icon, you approve it. A confirmation email will then be sent to their email address. Now there is one last thing we need to do, and that is redirecting the reservation button on the homepage to our reservation page. Go back to the front end and click on the customizer. Click the pencil icon, and over here you can change the button link. Let's copy and paste ours. And then click on publish. Okay, now open a new tab and let's check it out. See, it works properly. Okay, now that's it for the booking calendar plugin. So now I want to teach you more about the Elementor Page Builder. As you already have seen, the Elementor Page Builder is an easy drag and drop software. For instance, if you want some social icons on your page, you simply drag the element and drop it onto the page. And if you want to delete them, you can simply click the cross icon or right mouse click delete it. Now for a free version you have all the elements you need to build a perfect website. The Pro version only offers some extras. Let me tell you more about these icons down below. This one is the navigator and allows you to rearrange different elements. The history is useful when you make mistakes or want to redo or undo edits. I myself usually stick with the Command Z or Control Z. This icon shows the responsive mode, basically how each page looks on mobile, tablet and desktop. Very useful because if something looks good on desktop and not on tablet, you simply edit the tablet page and leave the desktop page untouched. Now as you can see, the Astra theme is mobile friendly by default, but if you think it doesn't look good, you can change it. For instance, reduce or increase the title's font size or change the text in the content tab. Once the element is selected, you can change many things in the style tab, like color, spacing, you name it. Try it out and check what looks best for your site. Okay, now let's customize the website a bit and edit some elements, such as the header visual. You can right mouse click edit the component or click the 6-point icon. Then we go to where it says style and you can see the default header visual. If you want to add a new visual, you can of course use your own content. But if you do not have a quality picture, You can also download royalty-free images as Pixabay or Pexels. I personally really like Pexels because of the many high-quality visuals. Let's search for food. As you can see, beautiful visuals pop up and you can download them for free. But remember to download visuals with the dimensions of around 1920 by 1280. I want to keep the Italian style, but I want to change the header visual and make it a bit lighter. So first we go to the media library and let's pick this visual for example and click on Insert Media. Okay, that looks fine but a bit too dark. So we go to the background overlay and over here you can play with some settings. If we, for example, change the second color type to a more lighter color and then drag this to about 100, you can immediately see the impact of using overlays. Also, I think the header visual is too big, so we go to Advanced and change the padding, top and bottom. Currently it's 200 for both, but I know that 100 for each is more than enough. You see? And then we click on Publish. Okay, next I want to scroll to the bottom of the homepage because I want to change the Testimonials section and show you the ability with the Elementor Page Builder. So we do not need this component anymore and can delete it by clicking on the cross sign. Click on the plus icon and choose the 3 structure option. Now let's create a heading. Go to the element section and drag a heading element over here. Change the title to, for instance, Our Happy Customers. Click on this icon to center it. Now we want the header above the 3 structure component. So we click on this icon and drag it here. Now let's see, I want to add some sort of a divider. You can find it here in Elements. Drag and drop it. This divider doesn't look very fancy and therefore we need to change it a bit. Let's select the width of 130 pixels. Don't forget to click this icon by the way. And then center it. Let's change the color and thickness in the Style tab. The orange theme color is more suitable, so let's fill in the color code. For weight I choose 3 and I want to minimize the gap to 2. Now go back to Elements and choose the inner section and drag it over here. And one of the 2 columns we can delete. Now we need to add a visual. Go to Elements and drag and drop the element. Currently the visual is too big, so let's choose the thumbnail size. Now let's see what images the library has. And pick, for instance, this one. We call her Jenny Abigail, so we need to change the title and alt text to something like this. Alright, that looks fine, and insert the media. Now the component needs to include her name as well. Let's drag a heading underneath the visual to give this happy client a name. And center it in the Content tab. Let's change the font size a bit as well. Now drag a text editor underneath the header, so you can write a nice story about your restaurant. Let's make something up like, Restaurant X served us the best pizza we ever had. Also, the waitresses provided fast and excellent wait service. We will definitely come back. Thanks. Okay, let's center the text at style and alignment. I also want to have a 5-star rating underneath it. Go back to Elements, search for star, and drag the element underneath. And center it. Now you can give this inner section some shadow. So for changing settings to the inner section, basically the smaller box, you need to click on these dots icon. Go to Style, Border, and click on Box Style. Let's give it a blur of 10. Let me see what we could do next. Let's make the borders a bit less pointy. Over here you can change the border radius. I know 10 is fine. Let me show you. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? Now you can duplicate each inner section by right mouse clicking on the dots icon, duplicate, and drag it accordingly. This saves a lot of time because you only need to edit the visual, heading and text. Okay, let's go to the next subject. At the bottom of your website you can find the footer section. This section is usually filled with the company information and links to legal pages such as the disclaimer, terms of use and privacy policy page. Now before we start to edit the footer section, we first have to create these legal pages. So let's go to the WordPress dashboard and create them. After you're done, we go back to the front end and click on the footer section with the Elementor Page Builder. Remove the site title and powered by shortcode and add the following codes. Now you obviously need to change the domain name to yours in these codes and fill the legal pages. But I'm not going to cover that in this video because each company has different terms and policies. Now click on Update and open a new tab so we can check if the links actually work. Now as you can see, they work, except for the terms of use page, because I made a small mistake in my HTML code. Anyway, you get the idea. Now let's see, we covered everything, from registering a domain name and web hosting to actually create and edit the WordPress website for restaurant owners. Now your next step is to start ranking in the Google search engines for more clients. Subscribe to this channel for upcoming content about this subject. Now that's it for this video. I want to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I will respond as soon as possible. See you in my next video. Bye.